Hi everyone, in this tutorial I want to show you a quick tour of Android Studio version 2.2. So in order to create an Android Studio project, here you just need to click on this Start a New Android Studio Project, and then here you can specify the name of your application, for example app, and here you can specify the company domain, package name. Here, in order to specify the package name, you just need to click on this edit here, and then project location. And here click on next. Here, as you can see, you need to specify the minimum SDK, API 16, Android 4.1 Jelly Bean, okay? And then click on next. And here you can specify to choose basic activity or empty activity. This is actually a template, okay? So it's not actually very important to actually choose a specific template. You can choose this empty activity, and then you can actually put your user interface components inside your activity and use other activities. But for this course, you will mostly use basic activity or empty activity. So you can actually use basic activity and then click on next. And then here you can specify the activity name, layout name, title, and menu resource name, which I'll talk more about later in this course. And here you just need to click on this finish here. And now it's going to actually create the project for us. So we just need to wait a little bit here. As you can see here, it is going to actually configure and set up the project, the Android Studio project for me. And here, as you can see, our project is actually created. And now, as you can see, here I just need to wait. And here I can see this project here, okay? And here, as you can see, it's showing me this error here. And here, in order to fix this error, as you can see, we just need to wait. And now, as you can see, the error is gone. But if these windows are not open in your Android Studio, you just need to click on this view here and then tool window and then click on project. And then it's going to actually show you the project structure, which is here. And here you can actually open the app. And then here inside this res folder, inside this layout folder, as you can see, we've got two XML files, activity underline main.xml and content underline main.xml. So here in this course, we mostly work on this content underline main.xml because we need to actually put our user interface components on this content underline main.xml here, okay? So here, as you can see, I just need to select this hello world text view here and then press on delete key on my keyboard. And here inside this palette section, as you can see, we can actually choose one of these user interface components, or I can actually scroll down here in order to see the other user interface components. For example, as you can see, we have this widgets folder, we have this text fields folder, or we have this layouts folder here, we have this containers folder here. You can actually choose one of these containers. You can choose images and media, date and time, which we will actually use them later in this course. We can use these transitions, image switcher, adapter, view flipper, stack view, text switcher, view animator, view flipper, view switcher. Inside this advanced folder, we can use include, which I'll talk more about later in this course. You will see an example of this include. You can use request focus, view stop, and other components. Custom, as you can see here, custom design, coordinator layout, app bar layout, tab item, and other user interface components, which we will use later in this course. And here, as you can see, we've got this design area, content underline main.xml here. And for example, I can actually drag a button, for example, inside this widgets folder. I just need to select this button here, and I just need to drag it here and put it at the center of this layout, as you can see. And here at the right hand side, we can see this properties section, as you can see. And here at the bottom, it says view all properties. And I can actually see the properties that are related to this button. For example, I can actually change the text of this button, right? So in order to change the text of this button, I just need to find the text attribute. So here is the text attribute, and I just need to select it. And here I can actually assign another value. For example, press me, and then press on enter key on your keyboard. And here, as you can see, the text of this button is actually changed. So in order to make this editor area, this design area wider, I can actually double click on this content underline main.xml, and here I can actually zoom in here in order to see these user interface components better, or I can actually zoom out here, right? And here in the right sidebar, you can see these properties, and by clicking on this button here, as you can see, I can actually go back to this area here, or I can actually view all properties. So these are the common properties that you may actually change for this button, but you can actually choose view all properties in order to see all properties that are related to this button. You will use them later in this course. And here, as you can see at the bottom, we have this floating action button here. We can't actually choose this floating action button here. And here, in order to choose this floating action button, here you just need to click on this view here, tool windows, and then project. And here, as you can see in the project structure, inside this layout folder, I just need to double click on this activity underline main.xml. And now if I actually double click on this activity underline main.xml tab here, now we can see this design area better. And here I can actually select this floating action button and then press on delete key on my keyboard. And here I need to actually go back inside this main activity.java file here. And inside this onCreate method here, as you can see, I need to actually select this piece of code here, floating action button. This piece of code is related to that floating action button. I just need to select it and then press on delete key on my keyboard. And now we are good to go. Okay. So hopefully that makes sense. So here is the user interface components. And here, as you can see, we have this component tree section. So whenever I refer to actually a component tree section, be sure to look at this section here. Okay, component tree. And as you can see here, we have this content underline main.xml, and it says relative layout. So here at the bottom, as you can see, we have this design area, and we have this text tab here, right? Design text. So just select this text here. And as you can see here, we have this relative layout here. And here, as you can see, this is the ending tag of this relative layout. And here inside this relative layout, we have this button, as you can see here. Okay. So as you can see here, it is actually self-closing this button, or you can actually close this button in another way. I just need to put a closing tag here. And here, as you can see, it put this closing tag in this way. But for buttons, it's better to actually self-close a button by putting a / and a closing tag here. In this way, you are actually self-closing this button. So hopefully that makes sense. So these are the user interface components. Here is the component tree section. Here is the design area. You can actually put your user interface components on this area. And here, as you can see, for example, in the right sidebar, you can see the properties. So let's go back to our content underline main.xml and then click on here at the bottom, click on this design tab here. So here, as you can see, we have this layout here and we have this one here. So there is no difference between these two layouts here. For now, we just need to work on this layout here, and you can actually put your user interface components on this layout here. Okay. So hopefully that makes sense. And I think that's enough for this tutorial. And so if you have any questions about the Android Studio 2.2 version, please post a discussion in the course, and then I'll do my best to answer all of your questions. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.